Hello and welcome. My name is Christina from Empowered Creator. I am a mindset and conscious manifesting teacher and coach, and this is my YouTube channel. Here I talk about all things law of assumption, mindset, conscious manifesting, the quantum universe, and a lot more. And my goal is to simplify everything without the fluff. So if you guys like this content and you would like to see more of it, I would love it if you would subscribe to this channel, comment on this video, like it, share it, and stick around. Also, if you need help with your specific situation, I offer one-on-one coaching, email coaching, small group coaching, as well as custom subliminals for whatever needs you may have. So if you're interested in any of these services, the links are below in the description box. Click on them and they're going to take you to my website. With all that being said, let's dive into today's video. In today's video, I want to remind you guys to not give up so easily. If you're not seeing any movement with your manifestation, if it hasn't showed up yet, if nothing is changing, even if things have taken a turn for the worse, don't give up. If you want the manifestation, if you want that desire, if you want that experience, do not give up and don't take the lack of movement or the lack of change as anything final. So this is what I'll be discussing in today's video. Stay tuned. So as I said, I wanted today's video to be a bit of a motivational pep talk, and I know we've talked about these things before, but I always feel like some repetition from time to time is actually very beneficial, and I completely understand the frustration. I completely understand the disappointment if things are not going your way. If you feel like you've been imagining your wish fulfilled, you've been living in the end, you've been feeling in the state of the wish fulfilled, perhaps you've been doing techniques and yet you're not seeing any movement, you're not seeing any change, or maybe things have changed and have taken a turn for the worse. Here's the thing. I know this can be disheartening. I know it can be disappointing. I know it can cause you to question everything, to question if the law is working, or if it's working for you, or if you're doing something wrong, or if you should be doing more things. But know that the only way to become a master manifester is to actually learn to transcend those opposing circumstances, those seemingly opposing circumstances. Because a lot of the time, by the way, circumstances seem to be opposing, and then later you look back in retrospect and you realize they were actually the perfect bridge that brought you your desire. So don't be so quick to judge a circumstance as negative. However, even if you're going through some circumstances that seem to be opposing what you want, seem to be opposing your desire, do not give up. It's through learning to transcend those seemingly opposing conditions and circumstances that actually helps you gain self-mastery. And why do I say that? I say that for one simple reason. When everything is going smoothly and swimmingly, you have no motivation to change. So it's actually the opposition, it's actually experiencing things that you don't want, things that you don't prefer, things that you don't like, that gives you the desire to drive that change, to be that change, to become that change yourself, to change your circumstances and to experience something different. So whatever the opposing circumstances are that you might be facing, in reality, they're just an opportunity for you to transcend. Because if you don't have these opposing circumstances, you're not going to learn that circumstances don't matter, for example. If you don't learn to start putting your focus where you want instead of focusing on circumstances, guess what? You're never going to learn that circumstances don't matter. You're never going to learn that circumstances truly have as much power over you as you give them. If you have a seemingly opposing circumstance and you give it a ton of attention, a ton of importance, a ton of focus, it's going to seem like a mountain. It's going to seem like something insurmountable. On the other hand, if you see it as something that is going to change, is going to shift somehow, it's not going to be a problem, you're still going to have your desire, and then your desire ends up materializing and manifesting in the 3D, and you look back in retrospect and you realize that yes, that circumstance didn't matter after all. Now you have learned that circumstances don't matter through transcending the circumstances. If you don't learn to disregard what you see in the 3D that you don't like, and if you don't learn to persist in what you actually want, and in going back and focusing on your desired reality, your desired version of the story, your new story, you're never going to learn that the 3D never mattered in the first place. And that through persistence and through persistent imagination towards your new story, towards your new version of reality, you accomplish what you want, you achieve what you want. If you don't transcend looking at the 3D for cues and evidence, You're never going to learn that the 3D is just malleable and it's just changeable and it can shift anytime. You never learn that. If you don't learn that you don't have to identify with your opposing thoughts, that you don't have to believe them, you don't have to allow yourself to be determined by them, and if you don't learn that instead, you can actually choose your thoughts, you can choose your emotions, you can choose how you feel about a certain circumstance, how you perceive it, what meaning you give it, guess what happens? You never learn that you're able to choose your thoughts, choose your emotions, choose your perceptions. And so you stay stuck where you are, where things are happening to you and some things are good, some things are bad, but you're always waiting for things to happen to you. You don't realize that you are the driver behind things happening in your life. If you don't learn to control your thoughts, to control your emotions, to determine your own perceptions, to give your own meanings, then you're always going to be a slave to those thoughts, a slave to those emotions, a slave to your circumstances. So this is why not giving up is important, because by not giving up, by learning to actually apply those teachings in your life, day to day, little by little, I'm not saying that the change might be overnight, it might be gradual. For most people, it's gradual. But when you learn to transcend your circumstances, when you learn to transcend your thoughts, your emotions, things that the 3D is showing that you don't like, the old story, your old traumas, your old hurts, if you don't learn to transcend those and actually transform them into something that you want, into something that serves you, into something that aligns with the experience that you want to have out of your life, then now you've become a master of yourself. You've become a master of your circumstances and you've become a master of your reality. So when the 3D is showing you things that you don't like, I get the disappointment, I get the frustration, I get the impatience, I get the tendency to question everything, but it is actually opportunities for you to change, opportunities for you to transcend the circumstance, to transcend the unwanted story, to transcend the thoughts and the emotions that don't serve you, and become a better version of yourself. So that's exactly why you don't want to give up every time you see something that you don't like in the 3D. Every time something seems to oppose what you want. Every time you seem to not get what you want. You learn to persist, you learn to transcend, and by the time your manifestation comes, you've mastered yourself, you've mastered the circumstances, you have learned so much more about yourself and about how the world works, how the universe works. You're a much more confident person. And so next time, you're not going to let the circumstances knock you over as badly as they knocked you over before. And the more you do it, the more you transcend circumstances, the stronger you become in that. It's like a muscle that you train. And the stronger you become and the more confident you become, the faster and the easier and the more effortlessly your manifestations come in. You no longer have to wait months and months and months and months battling with your own resistance. You are able to conquer your resistance much easier because you know now how things work. You have the experience and now you have the 3D evidence as well of how things manifest. And so now that helps you have more faith. And all of this is thanks to the circumstances not working out for you in the first place, and thanks to you persisting and transcending them and not giving up. So I hope this has helped. The message today is don't look at your circumstances as obstacles. Look at them as opportunities to transcend and to become a better you. Look at them as opportunities to help you become a master manifester. With all that being said, I'm going to wrap up this video here. I intend that this has helped. As always, I very much appreciate you guys being on this channel, watching this content. I love making this content for you. And as always, I look forward to seeing you all at the next video. Until then, take care and bye-bye.